maybe we will begin with Prajnaparamita Sutra read in Nepali, if possible.
我们一开始先用尼泊尔文念诵一下心经，如果可能的话。
अवाक्चिन्ताभिलपनां प्रज्ञापारमितामजाम् अनिरोधां नभोरूपां स्वसंविज्ञानगोचरां प्रत्येकैकस्यतां वन्दे त्रिकालजिनमातरम्। मैले यस्तो सुने एक समयमा भगवान राजगृहमा गृद्धकूट पर्वतमा ठुलो भिक्षुसँगका साथमा र ठुलो बोधिसत्वसँगका साथमा विहार गर्नुभएको थियो। त्यो बेलामा नै भगवान गम्भीर अवसम्बोधनाम गरेको समाधिमा प्रवेश गर्नुभयो। त्यही बेलामा आर्य अवलोकितेश्वर बोधिसत्व महासत्व गम्भीर प्रज्ञा पारमितामा चर्या गर्दै रहँदा यसरी हेर्नुहुन्थ्यो कि 5 स्कन्धहरूलाई स्वभाव शून्य देख्नुहुन्थ्यो। अनि आयुष्मान सारिपुत्रले बुद्धको अनुभवले गर्दा आर्य अवलोकितेश्वर बोधिसत्वलाई यस्तो भन्नुभयो, जो कोही कुलपुत्रले यो गम्भीर प्रज्ञा पारमितामा चर्या गर्न इच्छा गर्दछ भने उसले कसरी सिक्नु पर्दछ। यति भनेपछि आर्य अवलोकितेश्वर बोधिसत्व महासत्वले आयुष्मान सारिपुत्रलाई यस्तो भन्नुभयो, हे सारिपुत्र, जो कोही कुलपुत्र या कुलपुत्रीले यो गम्भीर प्रज्ञा पारमितामा चर्या गर्न इच्छा गर्दछ उसले यसरी हेर्नु पर्दछ। ती 5 स्कन्धहरूलाई पनि स्वभाव शून्य देख्दछ। रूप शून्यता हो, शून्यता नै रूप हो। रूपभन्दा शून्यता बेग्लै होइन, शून्यताभन्दा रूप बेग्लै होइन। जुन रूप हो त्यही नै शून्यता हो, जुन शून्यता हो त्यही नै रूप हो। यसै गरी वेदना, संज्ञा, संस्कारहरू र विज्ञान पनि शून्यता नै हुन्। यस प्रकार हे सारिपुत्र, सम्पूर्ण धर्महरू शून्यता लक्षणवाला छन्। उत्पन्न नभएका, निरोध नभएका, मल नभएका, विमल पनि नभएका, कमी नभएका, सम्पूर्ण पनि नभएका छन्। त्यसकारण नै सारिपुत्र, शून्यतामा न रूप हुन्छ, न वेदना, न संज्ञा, न संस्कारहरू, न विज्ञान हुन्छन्। न चक्षु हुन्छ, न कान, न नाक, न जिब्रो, न शरीर, न मन हुन्छ। न रूप हुन्छ, न शब्द, न गन्ध, न रस, न स्पष्टव्य हुन्छ, न धर्महरू हुन्छन्। न चक्षु धातु हुन्छ र त्यहाँदेखि लिएर न मनोधातुसम्म केही हुन्छ। न धर्म धातु छ, न मनोविज्ञान धातु छ। न विद्या छ, न विद्याक्षय छ र यहाँदेखि लिएर न जरा मरणसम्म केही छ। न जरा मरणको क्षय नै छ। न दुःख समुदय निरोध र मार्गहरू छन्। न ज्ञान छ, न प्राप्ति छ, न अप्राप्ति नै छ। त्यसकारण हे सारिपुत्र, प्राप्ति नहुनुले गर्दा बोधिसत्वहरूको प्रज्ञा पारमितालाई आश्रय गरेर चित्तको आवरण हट्दछ। चित्तको आवरण नभएपछि त्रासरहित भएर विपर्यासहरूलाई अतिक्रमण गरेर निर्वाणमा स्थित हुन्छन्। तीनै कालमा भएका सबै बुद्धहरू प्रज्ञा पारमितालाई आश्रय बनाएर नै अनुत्तर सम्यक सम्बोधिमा अभिसम्बुद्ध भएका हुन्छन्। त्यसकारणले प्रज्ञा पारमिताको महामन्त्रलाई जान्नुपर्छ। जुन अनुत्तर मन्त्र हो त्यो समानको अर्को कुनै पनि नभएको मन्त्र हो। सबै दुःखहरूलाई शान्त पार्ने मन्त्र हो। यो सत्य हो, मिथ्या नभएको हुनाले प्रज्ञा पारमितामा बताइएको मन्त्र हो। जुन यस प्रकार छ, गते गते पार सङ्गते बोधि स्वाहा। गते गते पार सङ्गते बोधि स्वाहा। गते गते पार सङ्गते बोधि स्वाहा। यसरी सारिपुत्र, गम्भीर प्रज्ञा पारमितामा चर्या गर्न बोधिसत्वले सिक्नु पर्दछ। अनि त भगवान त्यस समाधिबाट जागेर आर्य अवलोकितेश्वर बोधिसत्वलाई साधुवाद दिनुभयो। साधु साधु कुलपुत्र, त्यो ठिक हो, कुलपुत्र, त्यो ठिक हो। गम्भीर प्रज्ञा पारमितामा यसरी नै बोधिसत्वले सिक्नुपर्छ, जस्तो कि तिमीले निर्देश गर्यौ। तथागत अरहन्तहरूले अनुमोदन गर्नुहुन्छ। भगवानले यस्तो भन्नुभयो, उदात्त मन भएका आयुष्मान सारिपुत्र र आर्य अवलोकितेश्वर बोधिसत्व सहित त्यो सबै परिषद देव मनुष्य असुर गन्धर्व सहित लोकले भगवानले भनेको कुरालाई अभिनन्दन गरे।
Okay, so this is quite a deep and vast subject, and it's not going to be easy.
这次要讲的是一个很深而且很广的一个主题，所以不会太简单。
Oh, I forgot that there's going to be translation for those who are not Chinese. They will have to bear with this, but probably this is also a good thing because those who do wish to get into Prajnaparamita deeper, you might want to take note, and this gives you time to make notes.
仁波切说他忘了提一下，这次会有翻译，中文翻译，所以对那些不是讲中文的人，请要忍受一下。不过这不见得是一个坏事，因为要谈到这个般若智慧的时候，可能比较深，所以你可能要做点笔记。那翻译的时候，你可以做笔记。
They are supposedly in fact, they are supposedly, the teaching is so vast that what we have today, at least in the Tibetan translation, we have 100,000 verses, Prajnaparamita.
那在这个有关般若智慧的这个教法呢，是非常的广大。所以从藏文的这个经典来讲呢，大概有10万个寄颂。
About 12 volumes. Now this is, Tibetans and Indians are not so good with numbers, but this one is not an exaggeration.
那总共有12部这么多。那因为印度跟这个尼泊尔人呢，大概都对数字不太好，这个不是夸张的话。
Then there's Niti, we call it 20,000 verses, the collection of Prajnaparamita, 20,000 verses.
另外还有这个20万般若寄颂。
And then there's also the 8,000 verses.
那另外还有一个是8000寄颂。
And then the Prajnaparamita, even those who don't really understand what is in the text, in the Mahayana countries such as China, Tibet, it's quite a big deal.
对于这个般若智慧，即使很多人不是真的很懂里面在说什么，可是在这些大乘的佛教国家，像在中国啊、藏地啊，都觉得是一个非常重要的事情。
There are traditions such as just to having the collection of books in the shrine.
那以前就有一种习惯是不一定知道里面是什么，可是就收藏这个般若寄颂在自己的佛堂里面，就已经是很好的事情。
Sometimes lay people request monks to even do what we call a shalche, which is just flip through the pages, not even read, just flip through.
传统上还有请这个比丘来叫做小切，只是翻阅这个般若的经文，而不是念诵，这样就也是一种很好的事情。
Prajnaparamita is like I would say, like a heart and the soul and the spine and the head of Mahayana Buddhism.
那这个般若智慧可以说是大乘佛教的心脏、灵魂 脊椎跟头。
But not just Mahayana Buddhism. Buddha said in the Prajnaparamita Sutra, "Gang yenthuj sala labar debejen sharabchi bharut chimbara labar chao, gang changjusim sala labar debejen sharabchi bharut chimbara labar chao," which means those who wants to achieve liberation of different categories such as arhat or bodhisattva, yana, and so on and so forth. They all have to go through the Prajnaparamita. Basically, it's very important.
佛陀也讲过说，所有希望得到解脱，不管在什么层次上解脱，像阿罗汉或菩萨而解脱的，所有的人都需要经过这个般若智慧。
In fact, Buddha said, "This is the only way."
事实上，佛陀说这是唯一的道路。
But of course, this time we are sort of just touching and discussing the Prajnaparamita Hridaya, which is the quintessential Prajnaparamita Sutra, which is only like 2-3 pages.
那当然，这次我们只碰触或者讨论到这个般若心经，这是般若智慧的这个精要。
And I insist, we are only going to sort of, we will try to just provoke some curiosity. That's all, I could do.
般若心经只有2-3页，而且他说他坚持，这一次只是要利用这个般若心经激起大家的一些好奇心，这也是仁波切说他只能做到这样子而已。
When asked Davatagwa Chandakirti, to whom should we teach Prajnaparamita or the Shunyata?
有人问这个月称菩萨说，我们应该对什么样的人来教导心经或者是般若智慧呢？
One would think, he would say, "Oh, Harvard graduated or Campos. To them we should teach Prajnaparamita."
大家都大概会觉得说，应该交给那些哈佛大学毕业生啊，或者是堪布们，这些人我们应该教他们般若智慧。
But he didn't say that.
可是他不是这么回答的。
He said Prajnaparamita should be taught, Shunyata should be taught to only those, by mere mentioning of the word Shunyata, they have goosebumps, they have tears in their eyes. Only to these people you should talk.
他的回答是说，般若智慧应该教导给那些一听闻到般若智慧这个字，就会全身起鸡皮疙瘩，或者是眼睛会噙着泪水。只有对这些人，我们应该教导般若智慧。
There's also a story. Once Manjushri discussed Prajnaparamita or the Shunyata. 500 arhats vomited warm blood, hot blood, and died.
那也有一个故事是这个文殊师利菩萨有一次在开示般若智慧或者是空性的时候，有500个阿罗汉当场听到以后吐血而亡。
It's just not possible to accept.
就是没有办法接受。
Let's see within these 5 days who's going to die.
我们看未来5天谁会死掉。
I, for one, I'm still alive, which means 2 things.
那如果还有2个还活着的话，有代表2件事情。
I have mastered this completely, or I have no clue at all.
仁波切说他举他自己的例子，要么他就是完全都了解了，要么他就是完全什么都不懂。
Definitely the first one, I have to say this.
对第一个呢，仁波切要这么说。
Now, if you ask who taught this, then yes, Buddha.
如果你问说那是谁教导开示的呢？那当然是佛陀。
But when we say word taught, this needs to be discussed, because we are not on when we talk about when we say he taught, not necessarily he used his lips and mouth or use language.
那可是当我们说教导，或者是说他教导、他开示，事实上不见得他是用嘴唇、口语或者是这个语言来开示。
Many times he taught in a totally opposite way, meaning not talking, not using lips.
那有时候他的开示是完全用相反的方法，是完全不用语言的。
In fact, Prajnaparamita Sutra, he was sitting, nothing. He was. We will discuss this, but this is not coming from his mouth.
就像在《般若心经》里面，佛陀事实上只是坐在那里，他并话不是从他嘴里讲出来的。
And this has a very, very, very important, significant. We will discuss later, if I remember.
那这个是有非常重大的重要性的。我们晚一点会讨论到，如果人们就记得的话。
Why was he not using his mouth?
为什么他不用亲口来说呢？
Why was his disciples discussing this?
为什么他的弟子在讨论这些事情？
And why? And this is considered his teaching. This is a sutra, Prajnaparamita Sutra, which is usually is supposedly the words of the Buddha. So why is it categorized as this? Why not Shastra?
那为什么他们弟子在讨论的东西会被叫做经呢？因为通常经是佛之语，那为什么这个心经不是变成这个释论呢？
Anyway, as I said, Prajnaparamita is very important for Buddhism, and historically also places like China hosted. China is one of the biggest host of Prajnaparamita tradition or the teaching.
那刚刚讲过，这个对于佛教来讲，这个心经是非常重要的。那尤其是像在中国，有一个拥有非常好的传统，就是来这个礼赞这个心经。
Of course, Japan, Korea, they also became vessel for Prajnaparamita for many centuries, for centuries.
那当然，像日本啊、韩国也是崇敬这个心经非常久了，很多世纪。
And yes, of course, Tibet.
那当然，西藏。
In India, in the past, Prajnaparamita was a very important especially, made more important by guys like Nagarjuna and Asanga.
那在传统上，在印度心经也是非常重要的。那尤其是变得更重要的是由于像龙树还有这个无着菩萨。
Okay, you might want to ask, what's the benefit of this Prajnaparamita?
你可能会问说，心经有什么好处呢？
Will it help us have good sleep? Yes, definitely.
它会不会在帮助我们好好睡一个好觉？是的，然后就说绝对会的。
I'm not making it up.
他不是在开玩笑的。
I'll quote.
他会引经据典来解释。
대답에는 체답지 파르트 침빙하 릭바 침빙하 라나메빙하 미냠바다 냠바르 침빙하 능할 탐지 랍도 시버르 침빙하 meaning yes, good for sleeping if you have an insomnia problem.
刚刚我姐念的，他说是的，他写说对你好好睡觉有帮助。如果你有这个失眠症的话。
Nepali translation, 능할 탐지 all the dukhas will very good. Yes, it includes everything. Is it good for relationship? In case you are having a relationship problem, yes, it's good for this.
对男女关系有没有帮助呢？如果诸位正在有一个男女关系，是的，有帮助。
Is it good for parenting? Absolutely.
对于教导子女有没有用呢？非常绝对有用。
Should you be talking to your, infants, babies, kindergarten students? Should you be talking to teenagers? Yes, this should be one of the subject.
该不该对着这个小婴儿、这个幼稚园还有小孩子教这些呢？是的，这个应该就是教导他们的主题。
Is this good for business? Oh my goodness, very much, very much.
对做生意有好处吗？当然非常有好处。
I mean, even in the Indian tradition, Suresh, please correct me. There's something called, they say you need to have fun. Then in order to have fun, you need to have money, and you need to have a discipline. And finally, they say moksha. You need to know everything is illusion. These days, the fourth is what you don't hear from Harvard or Yale. They teach you how to have fun. What is fun? They teach you how to make money to have fun. They teach you how to have the discipline, thousands of books, but the last one they don't teach, that everything is an illusion. That they don't teach. This is why the business people, they suffer.
那在传统的印度的这个教法里面呢，他们有4件东西，一个是教导大家要好玩，这事情要有趣；第二个要金钱，要赚钱，然后这个事情才会好；然后第三个是有很多纪律；那第4个 moksha 就是这个幻象呢。事实上，就是现在没有教的东西，在哈佛大学没有教这种东西。所以，对于这个生意人来讲呢，第一个要好玩，第二个要赚钱，第三个有非常非常多的纪律，这个现在人都有。可是由于没有这个幻象这件事情，对幻象的了解，所以生意人都受苦。
Yes, so this is for happiness, this is for health, but they are all bonus. They are not the aim.
那所以般若智慧是让我们快乐，是让我们健康，但是这些都只是红利而已，它并不是主要的目标。
I like quoting Chandrakirti, this one again and again. What did Chandrakirti say? Chandrakirti said, "The idiots do bad things and go to hell. Idiots do good things and go to heaven. Idiots still. Only the wise ones go beyond good and bad and get liberation."
那么就是说，他喜欢一再的这个引用月称菩萨所说的这段话。他说：“笨蛋呢，做了坏事，然后下地狱。那笨蛋还是一样笨蛋哦，笨蛋做了善事，然后上天堂。那只有那种最有智慧的人，能够超越善与恶，而得到解脱。”
So this is so important. Is the aim to be happy and healthy and calm and peaceful? No.
所以这很重要。我们的目标是为了要快乐、要健康、要平静、要祥和吗？不是的。
I have to insist this, because Buddhism is associated these days with happiness. Very dangerous. I will protest wholeheartedly. Buddhism is not for happiness.
人们现在非常强调这一点，因为在近代，在最近呢，这个佛教很容易被人家跟所谓的快乐结合在一起，所以人们现在要非常强调说，这个是非常危险的。佛教并不是为了要快乐，这一点他要抗议。
Remember, idiots do good things and go to heaven. They are the idiots who want happiness.
记得吧？因为笨蛋做了善事而上天堂，那些快乐的人都是笨蛋。
To be non-violent is not a Buddhist aim. I mean goal, ultimate goal. They are bonuses.
非暴力也不是佛教的这个目标，非暴力只是这个红利而已。
This is so important, so important.
这个非
before
常
we
重要，
even begin this.
这个非常重要，在我们开始之前要强调这个。
So for Buddhism, out of lack of choice of words, I will use the word liberation. Liberation is the goal.
从佛教的观念来讲，由于缺乏这个用字的选择，所以仁波切用解脱这个字，解脱就是我们真正的目标。
But the words like a liberation, nirvana, enlightenment is, they are so, I don't know, should I say overly used, or there's just so many, these words are used in so many ways. There's a nirvana hotel, there's a nirvana escort service, so on and so forth. We don't know, there's so much used.
仁波切说这个解脱啦、涅盘啦、证悟啦，这些名字都被滥用的太多了。可以看到有这个涅盘酒店啊，涅盘这个应用软体，还有涅盘这个伴游服务啊，所以这些字已经被用烂了。
I mean, there are good reasons why these, it became like that, because of language, because of culture, and also because of capacity of people. So the liberation is heard and understood in many, many levels and different ways.
那当然也可以了解，因为受这个语言文化还有人类理解上的这个限制呢，所以像解脱这样的字就被诠释或者被这个理解成很多不一样的层次。
Okay, for now, just for the sake of this, how many days we are doing this? 5 days? 5 days, yeah. For this 5 days, but at least let's call liberation. When we say liberation, we are talking about, we are referring to realizing the truth. I think this will do for now.
在这个未来的5天里面，我们对于解脱这个字的这个词的定义呢，把它想成是了知真相，这样子应该够了。了知实相。
But we will discuss this later.
可是我们晚一点会讨论这些事情。
Okay? Okay, now, before we begin this, we need to prepare a few things.
开始之前，我们先要准备一些事情。
We need to prepare, or I don't know, how should I say? We need to have a sort of a mutual sort of understanding between, mutual understanding. So I'd like to prepare a few things here first.
开始之前，我们需要建立一点共识，所以仁波切先讲一些这些事情。
What I mean, what I mean by a certain phrase, language, words. Let's prepare a little bit.
仁波切先跟大家准备一下，就是说他讲了一些名词啊，有一些字啊，跟有一些语言是什么意思。
Well, we need to also sort of appreciate a little bit about how the Indians think.
那我们同时也要去特别去了解印度人是怎么想的。
The Chinese and the Europeans, you'll have to sort of switch this a little bit.
对于是中国人啊、欧洲人啊，可能要做一些调整。
And also Indian way of constructing a logic, and especially Buddhist, that one we need to prepare a little bit. Otherwise, what I say, what you hear is never going to meet.
对于这个印度人怎么建立 建构这个逻辑，或者是佛教怎么建构逻辑，也要先了解一下，否则仁波切说的跟诸位听的会没有交集。
Okay? To do that, first you need to know what we in Tibetan call Tangden and Ngeden, these two categories.
首先要知道刚刚仁波切讲那两个藏文的分别。
Buddha taught so many things.
佛陀教导了很多教法。
There are certain teachings that he taught, he actually didn't really mean it.
有很多教法，他开导了，可是他事实上并不真正的代表那个意思。
I dare not say he was lying, but it's kind of, he didn't really mean it.
仁波切说他不太敢说他在说谎，不过他不是真正的是那个意思。
Then there are certain teachings that he really meant it.
那当然有另外一些教法是他真正就是代表他的意思。
Okay, but now this is very complicated. This distinctions between whether he meant it or he didn't really mean it. Oh, there's a whole study going on.
那就是这两种教法，一般中文叫做不了义跟了义。这两种的这个讨论的辩论是非常多的。
And this is a particularly, I was talking to you earlier about, how the Westerners and Chinese, they should sort of appreciate this a little bit, because I have a feeling that this is something, especially in the West, probably they don't have this way of thinking.
所以刚刚说中国人、欧洲人可能要调整一下心态才能了解，因为仁波切认为在西方可能没有这样子的一种观念。
I mean, yes, Cinderella and Alice in the Wonderland, mother don't really mean it, right? The mother, when she's telling a kid to put the kid to sleep, Cinderella and the Alice in the Wonderland, she didn't really mean it, but there is an aim. The mother need to put the kid to sleep. That is the goal. Because if the baby don't sleep, the mother gets stressed in the morning and then whole thing falls apart. Stuff like that. So there is an aim.
那当然我们也理解像这个白雪公主啊、爱丽丝梦游仙境啊，这些东西是假的，我们了解。可是它有一个目标，有个目的，是因为母亲讲这个故事给小孩，是为了要让他睡觉。如果他不好好睡觉，第二天母亲的压力就很大，那事情可能会就一塌糊涂。
When the Western philosophers, which I don't know much, very little, but when the Western philosophers or the scientists, when they don't seem to have these distinctions.
可是对于这个西方的哲学家来讲，好像没有这两种的分别。
First, and especially scientists, they don't talk about like, oh, they really don't mean it, or they really mean it. They don't say this. But one thing I need to say, the scientists, they never make decisions. They say, well, this is so far the finding, but we don't know next year. You understand? Whereas in Buddhism, it's already decided. Okay? There's no changes.
那像是西方的科学家也是这样，他们一样是没有这两种不同的。比如说，他们不会说哦，这个是我不一定真的觉得是这样子的，另外这边是我真的觉得是这样子。而且同时呢，对于科学家来讲，他们从来不做决定的，他们只是会说现在直到目前为止我所发现的只是这样子而已，明年可能会不一样，所以他们不做决定。可是佛教是做了决定的，他已经决定了什么叫做真实的。
최남지 최니니 대신식분은 중요로 마중요로 주로매바고 whether the Buddhas have come or not, the truth of the phenomena is unchanging.
无论佛陀是否曾经来过，这个实相的真理是永远不改变的。这是仁波切刚刚所引用的一句话。
all compounded things are impermanent. All compounded things are impermanent before Siddhartha came.
一切和合事物都是无常的。在悉达多太子来到这个世间之前，一切和合事情现象就是无常的。
And all compounded things are going to be impermanent for looks like long time until somebody proves no. One compounded things become permanent. It's contradictory. It doesn't. There is no such thing as a compounded phenomena and permanent. It doesn't. But for the Buddhist mind, it doesn't work.
这个一切和合事物无常，也会一直持续，一直到很久很久以后，直到有一天有一个人证明说有某件和合事物是恒常的。可是这个是矛盾的，因为对佛教的心灵来讲，所谓的和合事物跟恒常这两件事情是矛盾的。
Okay. Anyway, Trangden Dangedun. You know the teachings that require, really mean it or not really mean it. Is it? That's a big one in Buddhism.
因此，这个不了义跟了义这两种教法，在佛教里面是一个很重大的这个题目。
Okay. I will give you some list of Buddha's teachings that he did not really mean it. Okay? I'll give you.
而且现在给大家一个单子，就是说佛陀教导他不是真正讲那个意思，就是不了义的教法有哪些？
All the morality teachings are in the category of he didn't really mean it.
所有有关这个道德规范的这些教法，都是属于那个他不是真正代表那个意思的。
Be a good, be a good boy. Don't be a good, but a bad girl. All of this, he didn't really mean it.
所有这些教法，做个好男孩，不要做个坏女孩，所有这些都不是他真正的意思。
Be generous. He did not really mean it.
要慷慨大方，他不是真正在讲这个。
Be vegetarian. Didn't really mean it.
要吃素，这个一样的，不是他真正的意思。
Johnny Walker is not good. He did not really mean it.
约翰走路不太好，你不要喝，这个他不是真正的这个意思。
This is going to upset some of you.
诸位在座有些人听了可能不太开心。
I'm kind of afraid to even speak this out.
我写说他们好像不应该讲这些话。
Mindfulness.
正念。
Mindfulness. These days Buddhism, mindfulness this, mindfulness that. Buddha didn't mean it. I'm sorry, but Buddha really did not mean it.
正念，这年头所有佛教都跟正念有关系，正念这个，正念那个。可是事实上，正念，佛陀并不是真正的想说这个意思。
Because if mindfulness is what Buddha really, really meant it, Buddhists will have forever constipation. Forever.
如果正念真的是佛陀所要说的意思的话，那佛教徒就会有永远的便秘。便秘。
Then another one.
那还有一个
Love and compassion.
慈悲。
He did not really mean it. I'm sorry, but he did not really mean it.
很抱歉，可是他并不是真正说的是这个。
Half of the bodhicitta also he did not really mean it.
这个菩提心的有一半呢，他也不是真正说的这个意思。
Now this, the next one, so important, so important.
下一个非常重要。
I'll be really blacklisted after this.
What's that?
I will be blacklisted after this. But you
那
know,
么
I'm
现在
telling you,
说了这个以后会被列入黑名单，
karma.
业力，
He did not really mean it.
它并不是真正的是那个意思。
Reincarnation. He did not really mean it.
转世，它并不是真正是那个意思。
And then the biggest one, samsara, nirvana. He did not really mean it.
那最大的一个轮回涅槃，它并不是真正在说那个意思。
Long after Buddha, he's one of his disciples. Shantideva said in the Bodhicharya Avatara, Dunghal never hidendu drebi mongpa domija. He said, practitioners are allowed to keep one ignorance for the time being.
在佛陀很久以后呢，他的弟子的弟子呢，吉天菩萨在这个《入菩萨行论》里面讲了一句话，他说：修行者可以被容许保留一个无明。
You understand? You are allowed to have one ignorance.
你可以被容许保留一个无明。
And what is that?
那是什么呢？
Thinking that there is an enlightenment.
认为证悟真的存在。
So, this is a very brief list.
这是一个简短的这个清单呢，
There's
有关不了义的
there's
清单。
much more.
那事实上还有很多。
Now, what are the teachings that he really meant it?
那他真正的教法是什么呢？了义的教法是什么？
One that we are supposedly going to be discussing for the next 5 days.
就是我们未来应该要讨论的这个题目，这5天要讨论的题目。
As I said earlier, distinguishing between distinguishing these two, what he really meant it or not, is very difficult.
那就刚刚我们就讲过了，要分辨什么是了义，什么是不了义，事实上是非常困难的。
Because it also depends on the one who's doing the listening of the teaching.
因为它永远跟这个在听闻教法的人有关系。
In fact, when we talk about the teaching, we are always talking about, listener. We are always talking about that.
事实上，我们在谈教法的时候，我们都是在谈这个听者。
I'll give you a glimpse of, even though this is not the right time, I will give you a glimpse of another angle, which I just want to give you this because, for people like me, Nepal is such a sacred land. It's a very sacred. It's supposedly Chakrasambhara Mandala. It's a tantric. It's a tantric world, so to speak.
那我们就要给一个例子，就是来讲这个为什么这两个这么难分别？当然可能跟目前在说的这个题目没关系，不过因为我们就说现在我们都在尼泊尔，尼泊尔是一个非常神圣的一个土地，圣乐金刚的这个道场，对于密乘来讲，这是一个非常重要的一个地方。
Just about a moment ago, I was saying, it really relies so much on who's listening.
刚刚我们说，真正都要靠看到底是谁在听闻。
Okay, so if you read the life of the Buddha story,
如果你读这个佛陀的生平，
first thing after he achieved enlightenment.
他证悟以后的第一件事情，
What did he say?
他说了什么？
Subjectual result dimaji dizutabi chushi koyni sulatenja korminube mimran najidapsunaparcha. Basically, he said, I have found a truth, that is brilliant, that is brilliant, extremeless, peaceful, so on and so forth, but that no one is going to hear this. Therefore, I'm going to keep quiet in the forest. This is what he said.
那佛陀证悟以后，他自己说的第一句话是说，他已经找到了一个真理。那这个真理呢，灿烂非极端、祥和、光明等等。然后他说，可是没有人能够听懂或者听闻这件事情，所以我要就保持沉默，在森林里面就好了。
Ordinarily, you hear, oh, he doesn't want to teach because it's too, we will not be able to hear it. He's not going to teach. And then what? The ordinary story is the Brahma and the Indra came rushing and said, please teach, give him, conch and so on and so forth. That's the story. That's how the story goes.
那一般我们听这个故事就会说，哦，那他就是不想教导，因为没有人会听得懂。故事的接下来就是说，结果这个天神来跟他请求说，你一定要教导，为了人，大家一定要教导，所以供养他这个海螺等等，然后所以佛陀后来就开始教导。这是一般我们认为我们听到的故事。
But from another angle, that was the most important teaching.
可是从另外一个角度来讲，他一证悟以后所宣称的那段话是最重要的教法。
Beyond words, you will not hear it. There's no words. There's no language to teach. Profound, brilliant, deep, vast, infinite, uncompounded truth. He was already introducing that right at the beginning.
那事实上，他是在说，所以他找到了这个真理，灿烂、深奥、广大、无限、无极端、祥和的这个真理，是不能用语言来教导的。这是他在讲的最重要的一个事情。
I mean, think of it. Isn't it brilliant? He did the two things in one go. When he said, "Oh, I'm not going to teach because nobody is going to hear it," from one angle, it's not what he really meant it. But on the other hand, he actually meant it. You know what I mean? The same phrase, both there, depending on who is hearing it.
这是一个非常大智慧的一个教法，因为佛陀事实上同时讲了两边的事情。一方面他说，哦，因为我不能，没有人听懂，所以我不能教导。一方面他在讲的那个不是他真正的意思。另外一面，同时他又讲他真正的意思，就在讲这个教法是无法用语言教导的。
And then, anyway, the story goes like this. He went to Saranath, and there he taught four noble truths.
然后故事是这么进行的，就是后来他去了鹿野苑，然后教导了四圣谛。
And for the common students, he taught about how the worldly life is full of suffering, and the truth of the suffering, and the cause of the suffering, which is the emotion, etc.
对一般的听众来讲，他所教导的就是四圣谛呢，是在讲我们一般的这个我们的世界呢是有很多苦，那他讲这个苦地，然后这个苦之因等等的，这个我们的情绪是我们的苦之因等等的。
But there were not just 5 monks listening to that teaching. There were many other listeners, many other listeners, and some of the listeners are very, very high-standard listeners, and they heard it in a different way.
那可是佛陀在教导四圣谛的时候，并不只是那个五比丘在听，事实上还有很多其他的听众在听，有一些是非常高层次的，他们听的内容是不一样的。
They heard that samsara is bliss.
他们听到呢，这个轮回是大乐。
Emotion is the wisdom.
情绪就是烦恼，就是智慧。
Okay, so between these two, we need to also discuss which one he really meant it, and I'm talking from the listener's point of view now.
那在这两者之间，我们也要来讨论说，到底哪一个是或者他的真正的意思，哪一个不是他真正的意思？那这是从这个听闻者的角度来讲的。
And this is really important. Now with this, we will begin with the text.
那这非常重要。那以这个做个总结呢，我们开始来讲这个心经。
Sutra always begins, "Thus have I heard, thus I have heard."
经文都是从如是我闻开始的。
If you like, you can call it a disclaimer. That's in a way, it's a disclaimer.
你如果愿意的话，你可以把它想成这叫做免责权的宣言。
You know, you guys, after 5 days, you can't really say, "Oh,宗薩欽哲仁波切said this."
因为
Or you only heard this way.
5天以后，你并不能说哦，宗薩欽哲仁波切说了这个，你只能说我听到这些东西。
Unfortunately, there's a recording machine, I know.
不幸的是有录音就是了。
But anyway, thus have I heard, meaning this is how I heard. It never begins with this is what Buddha said.
如是我闻，就是说这是我所听到的，从来没有想过说佛陀说怎样。
And Sutra is very, very specific.
经文是非常特定的。
And then Ananda, I mean, here even we have a dispute actually. This, thus have I heard. Some people say this, thus I have heard. This I is Ananda. Others disagree.
那即使这个如是我闻都有辩论，因为这个如是我闻，有些人说就是阿难，我就是阿难，可是有些人认为不是这样子。
Bhava Viveka, one of the great Madhyamikan philosopher, he said that I, you know, thus have I heard, that I is actually Vajrapani.
那Bhava Viveka，我不晓得怎么翻译。
Bhava Viveka。
Bhava Viveka 这位大师曾经说，这个如是我闻的我，事实上是金刚持。
And then some other
金刚手，对不起。
Yeah, some other Indian Panditas, they say that's actually Manjushri who is saying this.
另外一些印度学者认为说，那个我是文殊师利菩萨。
I just want to tell you this because you need to know the culture of Buddhist teaching, so to speak.
我现在讲这些是希望大家了解这个佛教教法的一些文化。
Majority of the Buddhists would agree with a great commentator of Prajnaparamita. His name is Singha Bhadra. He's really, really important. You know, he's a very important Prajnaparamita commentator. He says it's Ananda.
可是大部分的佛教徒呢，都会同意。仁波切刚刚讲这个一个很伟大的般若学者叫做辛哈巴扎，他认为是那个我是阿难。
Other specific at Rajgir, a specific place.
如是我闻，阿难听到，这是其中的一个确定的东西。第二个是说是在灵鹫山，那这是另外一个确定的东西。
At one point.
一时也是在讲另外一个确定的东西，时间。
Already saying the Buddha have said different things at different audience and different places. This is important for the Buddhist students to know.
讲这三件事情呢，也就是代表说，佛在另外的时间、另外的地点讲给另外的人听，讲了另外的事情， 所以这个对于学佛的人是要很重要，要了解这一点。
You can call it, this is the richness of Buddhism. You can call it, this is what makes Buddhism so difficult and so, like, what do you call it, just too vast.
你可以把这个现象呢，说是佛教的丰富性，当然你也可以说为什么佛教这么困难或者这么广大，也因为这个原因。
It would have been so easy if Buddha said, okay, all Buddhists, no chicken. Nothing to do with, he really meant it or not meant it. No chicken. Go to Bodh Gaya once in a lifetime. Like that. All Buddhists must wear socks. Like this. Wouldn't be so easy. So easy.
如果佛陀曾经讲过说，做佛教徒就不可以吃鸡，一辈子要去菩提迦叶一次，然后佛教徒一定要穿袜子，而不要去分别说到底他真的这个意思还是不是真的意思。如果是这样的话，那就简单多了。
You can look at this. This is reflected to the Buddhist life also.
这也反映在这个佛教徒的生活里面。
Look at these monks and nuns.
看这些比丘、出家人、比丘、比丘尼们。
They shave their hair, paranoidly.
他们这个神经紧张似的这个剃他们的头。
But then you go to, I don't see it today. Usually Nepal is full of this, but anyway, probably in Bauda, there are yogis who have long hair. They shave their hair paranoidly. They're both Buddhist. One is really trying to shave, the other is really trying to keep. What is this?
那如果你去这个佛塔、大佛塔的话，你可能会看到有那种瑜伽士是用尽所有的办法，神经质的在留他们的长头发，长头发一点都不剪。那他们都是佛教徒啊，剃头的跟不剃头的，到底这是什么东西呢？
And then even Buddha's disciple, there's people like Ananda or Shariputra who look so serene, bare feet, begging bowl, shaved head, speaking very gently, monk.
那即使在佛陀自己的弟子里面，也有像阿难这样子的这个赤足、托钵、祥和，非常这个平和的这个比丘。
And then there are people like Manjushri with the earring, necklace, aftershave, everything.
那还有像文殊师利菩萨这种戴耳环啊、戴戒指啊、项链啊，还有这个喷那种刮胡以后的香水那种人。
And some sort of almost inseparable boyfriend and girlfriend together.
也有一些是几乎这个男女无法分开的那种状态的也有。
And we accept both.
那我们都接受。
We proudly accept them.
我们非常骄傲的都接受他们。
This diversity, the richness, which can be very rich but can be very confusing. That's Buddhism for you now.
这种多样性、丰富性，也可以同时造成大家对佛教非常困惑。
Okay, we will soon going to have a break, but before break, one more preparation.
那待会儿要休息一下，可是休息之前还有一件事情准备。
Language.
语言。
This is a difficult one.
这是一个很难的主题。
If you for people like you and me, what we are trying to do is really trying to, the final aim, remember the liberation, the discovering the truth. How do we do that? For people like you and me, only way is talking and listening, so needing to use the language. Unfortunately, that's the only way. If you happen to be like a Naropa and I happen to be like a Telopa, our shoes will do it. But unfortunately, we are not. Maybe you are, but I am not.
我们先说我们的目的，不要忘记我们的目的就是要了知实相。那可是像你我这样子的人呢，为了了知实相，我们能做的事情也只能用讲话跟听闻，一个要说，一个要听，一定要用这种方法，否则没有别的办法。当然除了如果仁波切说他如果像这个地洛巴诸位都是那洛巴的话，那鞋子就可以办到这件事情。可是诸位可能是那洛巴，可是仁波切说他不是地洛巴。
Language is always vague. The language is vague. If it's not vague, the poetry people will not have a good job.
那语言永远是暧昧模糊的。语言如果不暧昧模糊呢，那诗人就没有东西可以用。
And it's always changing, and also depending on different culture. For instance, I was, like for instance, like Jane Austen. It's going to be difficult for a Tibetan Khenpo to read something like what Pride and Prejudice and make sense of what Mr. Bingley is talking about. Do you understand?
那语言又永远在改变，而且跟文化也很有关系，文化的这个分量很重。所以举个例来讲，像这个真奥斯汀的这个《傲慢与偏见》，如果请一个这个西藏的堪布来读的话，他实在是很难读得懂，尤其是说像里面那个 Mr. Bingley 到底在说什么。
I was just recently trying to read Balzac.
那么就说他刚刚试着要去读这个巴尔扎克的文章。
Balzac is French, right? French. Balzac.
法国大文豪巴尔扎克。
And I was reading it in English. He must have wrote in French, English, and me. I'm reading it. So, like many of it, I'm sure there's so many nuances that I am totally lost.
仁波切读的巴尔扎克是英译本的，所以巴尔扎克写法文翻成英文，然后仁波切读，他说这里面一定有很多那种味道跟那种真正的感觉都已经失去了。
When I was reading Balzac, one thing I thought, there are certain things that the French do, things like, stuff like that. I thought this could have been also influenced by people like Balzac. Literature does have an effect on how you move your hand, I think.
在读这个巴尔扎克的时候，他说读到像法国人有那种刚刚仁波切那个表情，他说很可能这个也是因为受到这个巴尔扎克的影响，那文学是会影响到我们的这个甚至手的举动啊这种等等。
But what I really want to say is during the course of these 5 days, what Buddhists mean, then, midden, like exists, non-exist, truth, not truth. All this, we have to pay some little bit of attention.
在未来5天里面呢，我们对于佛教的刚刚仁波切讲这4个名词，一个是存在、不存在、实相、非实相，都要特别了解它的意思是什么。
Otherwise, it looks like some mad person wrote this Prajnaparamita. No eyes, no nose, no this, no that. But you can see there is my nose is right here, my ear is right here. What's this?
否则的话，你会觉得是什么疯子写的这个心经，说什么无眼无耳无鼻，明明鼻子眼睛什么都在啊，什么意思呢？
So these are some of the preparation. Well, I think this is what you need to hear, so that you will have a lesser assumption.
这个是我们要准备的，也就是我们要听闻的，所以我们会比较不会有这种先入为主的观念。
Okay, so we will take a break now for like maybe 15 minutes.
好，我们休息15分钟。